Welcome to Killer Conversations. My name is Steven, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Sean.
Welcome, welcome, everybody. We're so happy you're here with us tonight. Steven, you got anything you need to get off your chest tonight?
Well, I have to apologize to my wife. I've been mean.
Anything else?
I've made her life harder.
Okay, we're taking this to the streets. All right. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm hiding tonight because, well, I haven't had a chance to brush my hair. This has been a stressful 2 weeks at work. Gracie's had pneumonia on top of that. And Steven here, um, I may possibly kill in his sleep with a butter knife.
I think she'll strangle me with the headphones that I told her I wasn't wearing, that I'm currently wearing.
So let me give you a pre-story to our actual story tonight. My wonderful, amazing husband here said, "Oh, we're gonna do a podcast. We're gonna do it right. So we're gonna get these headphones, and you have to wear them. There's no options. You have to. That's it.
Said we
No,
had to wear headphones. I
this is
didn't
not.
say
This
these
is not your.
exact ones.
This wasn't a AB conversation. See your way out of it. You have to.
You
That's
said
it.
that wrong.
Shush.
This is an AB conversation, so your
No,
way out
it's
of it.
not an AB conversation. I'm not. You don't get to talk. This is my
You're
story.
saying it wrong.
You're getting upgraded to a spoon. It's more painful. You have to wear these headphones. You have to. Can you use any other headphones in the history of the world? No. No, you can't. I hate these, Stephen. They're ugly. Can't. No other headphones in the world will work. None. Not on the planet.
I didn't say that.
So, shut up. It's not your turn to talk yet. So then we get 2-3 episodes in. You will notice, go back and watch, you will notice Steve no longer has the headphones that you have to use. All of a sudden, headphones show up that you can use now because Steve said so. They work for Steve, but only Steve. No, not for me, just Steve. And then tonight, he complains about how he can't hear. Or he can't move. He doesn't have the room. Little side quest about that. As you can tell, my background's different. We are working on it. And if I turn just right, I can pull down my curtains. But poor Steve, he doesn't have the ability to move with the cord to the headphones he's wearing. So he goes back to the only headphones in the world that will work. And I want to shove them up his nether regions. That's where we're at tonight.
So technically, my only problem is I got rid of something on my desk that I plugged my headphones into. So when I took away that, I now can't plug them into that. They have to be plugged into my monitor. My monitor's too far away. So if I try to move, I might rip my monitor off the desk. So I had to go back to these. And I never
Steve,
said,
look at my face.
My turn to talk. My turn.
Spoon.
See this
Heart.
bearded? See this bearded man?
Then I'm shoving it up your butt.
No, my turn. Shh. So I never said these were the only headphones that would work. These were some that I found that were recommended for, I'll be honest, budget. And so I got them. It was 2 pairs, wasn't very much money. I will say, the ear cuffs are a little comfortable. The strap is not comfortable at all. Sound quality is, well, it has a sound quality. It's just not that great. Wouldn't recommend. Give a solid 2 out of 5 stars. But normally, no. Normally, I would be using my IBMs because they're just so much better. But they have a very tiny cord.
I just want to get a little closer here so you guys can see my bags have bags. This is how tired I am. If I go to jail, I love you guys. Will some of you please bail me out? Because if you're, all you have to do is watch this and you'll realize it was for a very good reason why I went to jail.
She's a daddy's girl. Her daddy will bail her out. There's no issue there.
Steve, where do you think we're going tonight, Steve?
Oh, right down to business. I think I
You're
was.
going straight to hell. That's already been covered. And I wouldn't take you on this trip with me if you paid me $1 million. But because we're here and because I love our people and our friends out there, and that's it. I just love them. I will let you slightly come along.
Woo! I get on the back of the bus. Let's see. I think I was going to choose Nebraska.
No, wrong.
'Cause-
As usual, because you're always wrong.
Wrong. I got North Carolina. Well, it was part of what we were talking about.
Wrong.
Just a couple
You're
weeks
always
ago.
wrong. Just take it.
I was semi-right on one of them.
No, you're not even close on this one.
Oh, so it's East Coast. We already did New York City. Pittsburgh.
You know what? Even if you were to
Pennsylvania.
magically guess it, I would change the story to a different one.
That's dirty. You're playing like the officials in college football. You just deciding what you want to call.
Yes, and I'm allowed to.
Okay, well, where are we going?
Tonight we're going to Wisconsin. We're going to Plainfield, Wisconsin, to be exact. And listen,
You said I wasn't close with Nebraska?
look, I'm fine. I'm real fine. I am very kind and big-hearted. And I will always fall for a sob story. Not his, because I don't give a crap what he has to say tonight. But I'm not much on the geography.
No,
I
she is
am
not.
sure at some point in my life, Idaho moved over a couple states.
It most certainly did not. She
But
thought
that's
Idaho
it.
was on the coast.
No, I didn't think it was on the coast. I think it's closer to the coast now than what I thought it was before.
Well, that's right. You thought it was right up above Kentucky. What is right up above Kentucky, honey?
That would be where we live now in Indiana.
Yes. Who she didn't even know where it was at.
Like I said, I'm fun. I'm a lot of fun.
She is. She's fun. She's fun to talk to.
I know we don't usually talk this much beforehand, but like I said, we like to keep things real with you guys, and I'm an open book. So here it is. This is what it is. By the way, all this back here, that will get fixed at some point.
Yes. All my plain white will probably stay white.
Boring.
It's not boring. It's plain. There's a picture up there. I promise you. Like you might see it at some times. But there's a picture. It's just way up there.
We don't say anything. We see your boring personality and your white wall. Anyways.
It's called minimalist. Thank you very much. Doesn't take a lot to
That's
make
what
me
a
happy.
boring person would say.
Nope.
Okay.
That's what a cheap person says.
Anyways, tonight we're heading to Plainfield, Wisconsin. And if you've never heard of Plainfield, Wisconsin, you're in good company. Most people couldn't point to it on a map if you paid them. That would be me. I am most people.
I can tell you where Wisconsin's at.
Nobody cares what you think right now. We're all against you, Steve. None of us are rooting for you. It's the kind of place where the biggest headline is the local paper. In the local paper might be high school band wins regional, or town council approves new stop sign. Quiet, rural. Is that a word? Rural.
But yeah, the rural area.
Rural. Why does it sound funny when I say it?
'Cause you're saying it funny.
Rural.
Roll.
Rural. Words are not my friends tonight. It's a little bit lonely if we're being honest. But that's okay. I like those kind of towns sometimes. I think those look, I'm good with that. Quiet, just a good old neighborhood, like family town. I'm good with that. It's the Midwest distilled down to its simplest form. Long stretches of farmland, neighbors who wave from their trucks, and a pace of life that moves just a little slower than everywhere else. People here value that. They like the space, the privacy, the predictability. But the same quiet can also make the unusual stand out, or in some cases, hide in plain sight. I mean, like, come on, if you're a criminal, you're gonna go where nothing's happening. Like,
Well, yeah, yeah, especially like a smaller town, you expect not a lot of cops, not a lot
mm-hmm.
happens in this town. Somebody disappears and they're just usually like, "Oh, they probably moved to another, bigger town or something."
Or they just died in the night by their wife with a spoon
No,
by
that
accident.
no, see, cops would look into that and they'd be like, "Yeah, it's definitely the wife that did it, put her in jail." And I'm just gonna be honest, you're very clumsy. If you tried to kill me, you would probably kill yourself instead, or at least hurt yourself.
You know, prison life isn't looking so bad. A bed to sleep in, 3 meals a day that I don't have to make. It's kind of like a vacation, like a little hotel situation. I'm down
Nah.
for it.
Hey, guys, true story though, she has stabbed me before in the
I shot
foot.
him too.
She did shot me in the neck with a BB gun, and she stabbed me in the foot with a knife. But let me tell you, neither time was on purpose or that she was trying to do it.
For one, I'm not handy with weapons.
No. We were playing around with the boys. They were shooting BB guns at each other. Don't do this at home. Uh,
It
not
was war.
yeah.
I
It
shot you
was
in wartime. I'm
these are
sorry.
very weak BB guns. It literally felt like somebody was just like hitting you with a rubber band.
He
And
scared me, and I jumped.
I did. She had one of the boys shoot me. They took off running. So I ran after them. They tried to hide in a room to reload to shoot us.
I was
And when I
protecting
came
my
into the
children.
no, when I came into the room, she screamed, shot me right in the neck.
He scared me.
Yeah.
I jumped.
And then the knife situation,
I
she
talk with my hands.
she
I'm
likes to talk
sorry.
with her hands and she does the whole and she's cooking food. So she's got a knife because she's chopping stuff up and she's doing this. And all of a sudden the knife just flies up out of her hand and right down in my foot. And you would have thought that I could have dodged it, but I was like, she didn't throw that. Yep, that's my
I
foot.
didn't throw it.
No, it slipped. Like you could tell she didn't mean to do it. She cried. I thought it was hilarious. Hurt, but I thought it was hilarious.
Clumsy, and I talk with my hands, and I get startled. I'm sorry. Story is, he puts himself in dangerous situations. Not my fault.
It's called marriage, honey, not dangerous situations. It's just called marriage.
Dangerous situations. Anyways, so why are we going to Plainfield tonight, Steve?
I'm going to guess there's a killer there.
There is. There is. Any ideas who it is?
Plainfield,
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I don't know. For the people who don't know, I don't know anything about serial killers. I don't pay attention to them. I don't read about them. Nothing. So I have no clue. Everybody's probably sitting at home right now saying, "Is this guy an idiot? This is so and so." I have no idea. I don't pay attention to any of this. You ask me about Wisconsin, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, the Badgers? You a fan of them?"
Is a What does the Badgers have to do with Wisconsin?
The Wisconsin Badgers, that's the college team. Pretty sure that's what they are.
What do they play?
Football. College. Green Bay, Wisconsin, too. You got Green Bay right there, too.
They're not
Packers.
out building dams? It's like the dam builder team?
That's a beaver.
Same difference. What do Badgers do then?
We'll talk about that later. Hey, in the comments, put what a badger is. Put some pictures if you want to.
I've
And
seen
then put what a
pictures of.
beaver is.
Don't they do the same thing? Seriously?
No, I don't think so.
What if I'm right? What if by some weird thing I'm right? That's what I thought. Okay, we're going to Plainfield tonight because this is where Ed Gein lived. Ed Gein.
I've heard the name. I think I saw that on Netflix. I don't know anything about him. I just remember, I'm pretty sure it was in the top 10, the Ed Gein story or something like that. The story of Ed Gein, or I don't know. I think I saw you watching it.
He likes to make things.
So he's a carpenter?
No. He likes to sew things.
So he's a tailor?
Sure, let's say that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you're imagining some menacing figure lurking in the shadows, that's not how locals remember him. They talk about a man who was awkward, soft-spoken, and a little odd. Sure, but not threatening at all. He didn't look threatening or act threatening in any way. Kind of like you, Steve.
You're just saying I'm odd?
And awkward. And non-threatening.
I'm the awkward one? Okay, continue.
He did odd jobs. He helped people out. He wasn't the type to start a conversation, but he wasn't the type to start trouble either. In a small rural town.
Roll town.
That is not how you say that.
I don't know.
In a small country town, that kind of
Ooh.
eccentricity barely registers. But his farmhouse, that was different. Everyone knew that place. Kids dared each other to run up to the porch like Ding Dong Ditch.
Well, yeah.
Adults avoided driving past it at night, not because they suspected anything sinister, just because it had that eerie kind of like rundown look that makes your stomach tighten for like no reason. You know those places like that are big on Halloween that
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, let's check it out.
Yeah, you drive by and it's like, ooh, that looks creepy. Let's look.
Yeah, like it looks creepy. I wouldn't recommend stalking around this one.
Well, considering we're talking about a killer, I would say probably not. I mean, you wouldn't know it at that time, but
Right? And behind those sagging walls, behind the peeling paint and the overgrown yard, something was happening that no one in Plainfield or anywhere else could have imagined. When the truth finally came out, it didn't just shock the town, it rattled the entire country. It reshaped horror as a genre. It inspired characters that still haunt pop culture today. So, like, dude did a lot
this seems interesting.
for the horror scene.
Yeah, this seems interesting, but possibly terrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you sweet dreams tonight before, lose your life. Plainfield went from a dot on the map to a name whispered in documentaries, books, and late night conversations. And it all started with a man everyone thought they knew, but they didn't. Think that's kind of a theme in our stories. Like, we thought we knew, but we were wrong.
Yeah, that's the way it always goes. Like, oh, so and so is just the nicest, kindest person. Then by the end of the story, everybody's like, he was crazy, psychotic, could not believe what they did. But yeah, it's never what you expect. Like everybody always talks good about these people, like how great of people they are and how nice that they've been to everybody. And then you find out that they're total psychopaths.
But before all of that, before the headlines, before the documentaries, before Hollywood got a hold of his name, there was just Ed. Just a quiet, lonely kid growing up in a world that was already shaping him long before anyone knew his name. And honestly, that's where the real story begins. Now, y'all, before we dive headfirst into the Plainfield chaos, we got to rewind a bit and talk about where Ed came from because people don't just pop out of nowhere. With that level of strangeness, that kind of thing has roots, deep ones. Ed grew up on a remote little farm tucked so far out in the country that the silence practically had a personality. You know, that kind of quiet where you can hear the wind change directions. I've Stephen, you might know about this.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm from a very
Roar, roar, roar.
no, you're thinking of BFE. Um, there's nothing where I came from. I mean, we've talked about it before on here. There's a population of like 80 people. True story. I went kindergarten through 8th grade at a school that they had to close down because it only had 32 kids. That's how small the town was. We didn't
Um,
even have a Dollar General, and those things were everywhere.
that's why I'm fun and he's not. That's why he likes plain white walls.
I never said I like plain white walls. It's just I ain't put nothing up there yet. And I'll end up getting your area fixed before I fix mine.
That would be a good option for you to pick. Yes.
I'll add it to my notes.
Well, that's never happening.
Don't lie to read.
That was Ed's childhood soundtrack. This is getting kind of creepy. Steve, I might be describing you. No neighbors, no kids to play with, just chores, long winters, and a whole lot of empty space.
Okay, first of all, I had plenty of neighbors and plenty of kids to play with. I mean, they were not plenty. I mean, there was like 10 of us, but we all lived right beside of each other.
Trust me, I know they were imaginary. We just play along.
If you're saying there's something wrong with me, what's that mean about you? I was one of your choices.
That I like special projects.
You wink like a weirdo. I think that was blinking.
Blink if you need help.
No.
His father, George, was, well, he was present in the technical sense, but not much beyond that. He struggled with alcohol, struggled with work, struggled with life in general. He wasn't abusive in the way people sometimes imagine. He was more just like like a shadow in the background. There, but not really there. But bet he never told his wife she had to wear the headphones. The real force in that house, the sun, the moon, and the gravitational pull, everything orbited around it, was Augusta. And woo, 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 Augusta was something else. She was religious in the old school thunder and lightning way, the kind of woman who could turn a simple Bible verse into a full blown sermon about the wickedness of the world. She believed sin was everywhere, especially in people she didn't approve of, which was basically everyone. And she made sure her boys heard that message loud, loud, and clear. Like she was pushy, 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 pushy. And Guess what? Ed adored her. He absolutely worshipped the ground she walked on. If Augustus said the sky was green, Ed, he would have nodded and believed it with his whole heart, even though he could clearly see it was blue. She kept him and his brother Henry isolated from the rest of the world. No friends, no socializing, no outside influence, just the farm, the Bible, and her voice shaping every thought in their heads. When that's all you know, it becomes your entire reality. That don't sound like fun to me at all.
No, it does not.
No,
It does not sound like fun at all to me, one little bit.
no, no, not a good time at all. And that brings us to Henry, the brother who didn't quite buy into Augusta's worldview the way Ed did. Henry questioned things. He pushed back. He tried to nudge Ed towards independence, towards seeing the world beyond their mother's shadow. Mutter. I'm having trouble with words tonight, guys. Trouble with words. They are kicking my butt. Then came the day Henry died. Now, officially, it was ruled an accident, a brush fire gone wrong. Ed reported him missing, and when searchers found Henry's body, the circumstances didn't quite add up. No one could prove anything, and Ed was never charged. But even the investigators at the time admitted the scene felt off, felt iffy. It's one of those lingering mysteries in the Ed Gein story. Not solved, not confirmed, but whispered about ever since. A moment where people look back and say, maybe that was the first sign something wasn't right. Because, nobody goes against Augusta.
No, but it's also weird that, the one kid died. Like you said, he wasn't charged or nothing. Was it not, like, really investigated?
There was not enough evidence to prove anything other than that he died in a brush fire that got out of control. And Ed said he couldn't find his brother, that he lost sight of him while trying to, both boys were trying to put it out. And Ed said he had lost sight of him and he couldn't find him. So he went to get help and he reported that, there was a brush fire and he had lost his brother in the process of both of them trying to put it out. But the iffy part comes when he led them straight to his brother's body.
Well, yeah, that can't find him, but then, oh, he's right here.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
So that's why they kind of say it's iffy. But there's no proof that he did anything.
But that's more than just iffy. That's like so I know when it comes to, like, cases like that, y you can if you find out that they're lying about something, you can pretty much charge them. And to me, that's he lied. You straight up said, "Oh, I don't know where he went. Can't find him. I need help going find him." And then you walked to him. You lied.
But you also have to remember at this time that Ed was a little off. He was a little
Peculiar.
peculiar. So it's definitely iffy, and they definitely had their suspicions, but at the same time, it's Ed. So, and from there, well, the isolation only deepened. The world got smaller, and Ed's attachment to his mother grew even stronger. I don't know how that's possible, but it did.
Sounds
That's,
very unhealthy to me.
yeah, yeah, very, very unhealthy. Very
Like, there's
unhealthy.
nothing wrong with loving your mom and being close to your mom, but at some point, you gotta, grow up and be an adult. How old is he at this point?
That's the soul this whole story grew out of. A lonely farm, a dominating mother, a boy who never learned how to exist outside of her shadow. Now, y'all, when Ed Gein's mama passed on, that man's whole world didn't just wobble, it flat out crumbled. Like, this poor Ed, you know, his mama was the sun, the moon, the stars, everything in his world. Now she's passed away. And I'm not talking about the normal heartbreak folks go through when they lose a parent. This was different. Augusta wasn't just his mother. She was his guide, his rule book, his entire understanding of right and wrong. As she was the one voice he trusted in the world, he didn't really know how to navigate. Ed didn't just lose a parent. He lost the only compass he'd ever had. So boy is tore up. I'm just going to say that in simpler terms. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I've known people in my life that are extremely close, maybe not that close to their parents, and losing them, kills them pretty much. Like
Yeah.
they don't know what to do. But you're talking about that's all he had. He had nothing else or no
Yeah.
one else. So
No.
you can expect or see that it would be worse than him than
Hmm.
most. Like it's not just like you lost your mom. You lost the only person you had.
Yeah. And from that moment on, Plainfield started drifting into a kind of strange that folks didn't have a name for yet. Nothing dramatic at first, just little things, odd things. The kind of things you shrug off until suddenly you realize they've been piling up. Ed stayed on that old farm completely alone. Completely alone. And listen, that place was already isolated. When it was full of people. With just Ed, it turned into a whole different kind of quiet. The kind of quiet that feels like it's watching you, the kind that makes the air feel heavy, even in the middle of the day. Like, this is already the type of house that you're investigating on Halloween. Um,
Also, there's, like,
and
no one for him to even, like, speak to or anything
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Nobody.
I've lived alone before. I've lived alone not near my family and all that, and it's different from going to where you're used to talking to somebody to not having anybody to speak at all, and I did this during times that we had cell phones and somewhat social media. I At the time for him, like, they probably
Hmm.
had phones, but that would be about it, and that's only if you have somebody to call. He had nobody. Like,
Yeah. Who's he going to call?
your mind would just go in so many directions at once because like,
Yeah.
you would be lonely, you would wanna talk to somebody, he's sad, he's mourning. It's just not good for someone's, you know
Therapy's not a thing.
well, yeah, therapy's not a thing, and it's just not good for him mentally to be
No,
in that
no.
type of state, like,
And I
that's
don't
not
think
good.
he was necessarily mentally stable before that.
No. I mean, we think he burned his brother, so I'd say not.
Yeah. So he boarded up the rooms his mama used to sit in, sealed them off like a museum exhibit no one was allowed to enter. Her bedroom, he
That's
left
not
it
weird at all.
no, not weird. He left it exactly the way it was. Curtains drawn, furniture untouched, dust settling like a blanket over memories he refused to disturb. It was less a room and more like a shrine to
Trying,
the
that's what
only person, yeah, he ever truly connected with.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. It sounds like he made a shrine for her to,
Yeah.
like, pretty much worship her memory,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
that's
for
weird, and
sure.
that's also not good for you mentally. Like, I mean, a lot, especially like parents, like if you have a child that passes away, you're always going to have an area in your house of like pictures. You might keep their room and stuff, but you said he boarded it up and
Mhm.
wanted to keep it 100% preserved.
He's
I
not
mean,
touching that stuff.
nah,
That's where his mama was.
I mean, I guess it's not as weird because the more I think about it, it's like I said, if you're a parent, a child passes away, you may never touch their room. You might keep their room the way it was for, until you pass away. So
I'm not even gonna talk about that because I can't even imagine.
no, like I wouldn't want to imagine, but like I could see why he's doing that. But in his state, especially with no one there with him, I could see why he started having issues. I don't know where these go, but yeah, he wasn't in a good mental state.
No. Meanwhile, the rest of the house, well, it didn't get the same treatment. He didn't clean, didn't repair, didn't organize. My OCD is already making me twitch and get hives. He just sort of drifted through it, letting the place fall apart around him. It was like he was living in the shell of a life he didn't know how to rebuild. I was honestly thinking, like, reminds me of like a ghost haunting a place. Like he's just drifting through.
Caught in like limbo, can't go nowhere,
Yeah,
can't go forward, can't go back, can't move on, just stuck there.
he definitely did not choose the path of Casper, the friendly ghost. I love that movie.
You're a weird person.
I know. I need to watch that movie actually. He still come to town sometimes, polite, quiet, helpful, and that soft-spoken way people remembered. So, like, they say soft-spoken, like, Ed was really, really soft-spoken. Folks thought he was harmless. A little odd, sure, but Plainfield had seen plenty of odd. Rural towns always do. Most people just felt sorry for him. A lonely man on a farm trying to get by. But the isolation, that grief, the deep aching emptiness, that settled in after Augusta died. It twisted him up in ways nobody could have imagined. Because without his mama's voice, without that constant controlling presence, Ed started slipping into a world of his own making. A world where the lines between memory and reality blurred. A world where he tried in his own deeply troubled way to bring back the one person he couldn't live without. The next part of Ed Gein's story is one of those chapters people tend to whisper about rather than say out loud. Not because it's sensational, but because it's sad. It's just really sad. It's lonely. It's the kind of thing that makes you realize just how far a person can drift when they've got no one tethering them to reality. After Augusta passed, didn't just lose his mother. He lost the only relationship he'd ever really known. No friends, no dates, no social life. Just that old farmhouse, the wind rattling, deciding, and a silence so deep it probably echoed. And when someone grows up so isolated, their mind can wander into places most people's never, they never go. Um, Now, one of the things people discovered later was that Ed had developed a fascination with women's clothing. He he'd try on things, experiment with how it felt, and he did it all privately behind closed doors. And let's be clear. Let me be very clear here. Cross dressing itself isn't harmful. Like, you know, that is perfectly fine if that's what you choose to do. And I will say that most people that cross dress as a woman do it better than I do. And they can rock it, where I kind of not rock it. So cross dressing is not harmful in any way. Plenty of people explore clothing, identity, and expression in ways that are perfectly healthy and hurt absolutely no one. But with Ed, it wasn't about identity. It wasn't about expression. It wasn't even about wanting to be someone else. It was about wanting to be her. He wanted to be his mother.
So he was dressing up as his mom?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Not what I was expecting.
No, he wanted to be his mama. And so I think it was to him like having another person there.
Eh, Yeah, he was trying to make it to where he could have, I guess, like a conversation with her, like she was still there with
Yeah.
him. So I
So
guess I can see maybe what he was thinking.
that's why I say cross dressing normally. Do boo you
You do you, boo.
that that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say. Because you're gonna do it better than I do, and I'm kinda jealous. But this was not the healthy kind that was like an expression. This was a man going deeper into himself. Um, he like I said, that he wanted to be his mama, and that's the part that makes people's skin prickle a little. Like, "That's a little creepy, dog. We need to we need to talk about this one," you know? Ed missed Augusta with a kind of intensity that went way beyond normal grief. She hadn't been his entire world. She had been his entire world, his teacher, his moral authority, his only emotional connection. When she died, he didn't know how to function. He could not function without her. So he started slipping into this strange, sad fantasy. Like, it's just a sad fantasy. He wanted his mama, where he tried to recreate her presence. And wearing women's clothing became part of that attempt to feel close to her again, to step into the role she once filled in his life. It wasn't flamboyant, it wasn't public, it wasn't something he flaunted or shared. It was private. And I think that's what makes it so sad. It was a secret, something he did in the dim corners of that decaying farmhouse where no one could see how lost he really was.
Sounds like a boy that just missed his mom and may have took
Yeah.
it a lot farther than he probably should have. Because I know from this is going to go bad. Something bad is about to happen.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like all these things hitting him at once, which he may have been a killer before this stuff happened. Because I do believe he probably did kill his brother. It just seems kind of suspicious. Um, but his mom passing away and then all this stuff that's happening now, it seems to be a sign of him going down a much darker path.
Yeah. This is where I get stuck because most people kill for because that's just what they enjoy. Like, they get something out of it.
Mhm.
This is just a very sick man. I'm not trying to say in any way what's coming was right. It definitely wasn't. But I just feel so bad for him.
Like, if he coulda got help, maybe this woulda never happened.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
I
If he had got some help.
Yeah, I do. I think when it comes to, some of these cases that there is instances where if somebody woulda got help, things would have been
Yeah.
different. Um, him, like, it seems like he was extremely lost.
Yeah.
Now, and saying it, if he did kill his brother, uh, unless he'd got help beforehand, I
Did
don't
mama tell him to, though?
possibility, I don't know. Like, could be. I
Did
mean, who
mama
knows?
did
We'll never
mom
know.
say, "Hey, we gotta stop him. He's not living right. Hey, Eddie boy, you need to handle that."
It's a possibility. I have no idea.
We don't know.
Yeah, but
Because I here's the thing is I don't believe he is able to come up with it on his own.
possibly.
So, in another life with support, with community, with someone to talk to, maybe that behavior would have stayed harmless. Like, maybe it would have just been one of those quirks people shrug off.
Possibly. I think if he'd had somebody to talk to, it could have things could have been differently. I am a firm believer that therapy can help you in a lot of situations, or just having somebody to talk to in general can help you out.
Yeah.
Because when you keep stuff in, it usually has a negative side effect.
Yeah. But Ed wasn't living in another life. He was living in a world shaped by fear, isolation, and a mother who taught him to distrust everyone but her. Like, don't trust anybody but her. So when she was gone, he didn't have the tools that he needed to cope. He didn't have the grounding to separate grief from obsession. His cross dressing wasn't the issue, it was a symptom. He kind of how far he drifted from reality, how deeply he was trying. He was trying so hard to fill a void that just couldn't be filled. And looking back, it was one of the many early clues that Ed had become, or long before Plainfield realized something was terribly, terribly wrong with him. Once Ed had been out there on that farm alone for a while, people in Plainfield started to notice little things. Not big, dramatic red flag moments, just oddities. That guy, have you ever seen that guy? I've seen him on like Facebook Reels, and I think I've seen him on TikTok too. But he runs like it shows videos and he reacts to them, and he runs around holding like the big red flag, like like it's a huge red flag. What's going on in that video?
Hmm.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about for real?
Not a single clue. I don't watch
Anyways,
TikTok.
but I've seen him on Facebook too. Anyways, that's what I picture. Like now, every time I see a red flag, I picture that guy running with the red flag.
Like,
Doo-doo.
something's wrong.
Yeah. So, but there wasn't, you know, the people up until then, they didn't see that. They didn't see the guy running through town with the big red flag.
They probably just saw a lonely guy that, had lost everybody that he had
Yeah.
loved, and he's just, there by himself, and they probably felt bad about him.
Oh, yeah. I would have.
Oh, yeah, I would have too. I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, no, there's something wrong with that guy." I'd be like, "That poor guy, he has nobody."
Dude, I would have been
And
the
we would
one
have
that was
probably
like,
been somebody that he killed at some point because we were
that's what
like,
I was gonna say. Like, I would have been the one that went to like drop off food or something.
yeah, you'd have felt bad
I would have
and took
felt
food to
bad.
him, and he would have done whatever he
And
does.
he would be wearing me for his skin.
Is this guy Leatherface?
He inspired Leatherface.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
He
this
would
story's
have
gonna go really bad then.
he would have had a Sean suit.
Okay, it's not what I
Yeah.
expected.
So, people in Plainfield, they start to notice little things. Not big dramatic red flag moments. Not the guy running through town with a red flag. Red flag. They didn't have that guy like we do. Like I do, not you. The kind of stuff that makes you tilt your head and go, hmm, that's a little strange.
Hmm.
And me, I would have been like, bless his heart.
Bless his little heart.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all they noticed, At first, it was just like harmless gossip, small town gossip. Well, we've discussed that before. The kind of talk that floats around the dinner with the smell of coffee and fried eggs, but you don't fix me fried eggs because you don't like fried eggs,
I don't know how to
coffee and
make fried
scrambled
eggs.
eggs.
I can make scrambled eggs.
But over time, those whispers got a little heavier. The first whispers were about Ed himself. Folks would say things like, he's been acting different lately. He's quiet, but not the unusual quiet. Hey, Becky, something's off with that boy since his mama's passed. That's the kind of things they would say.
I have to highly disagree with you
Why?
because you sound like a Southern belle, and this is in Wisconsin. I didn't say nothing like that.
Well, how do
You
I?
just did.
I done the Southern Belle.
You
I
did the
know
Southern.
that, okay?
You should just move on.
No, what do they say in Wisconsin? Oh, you know.
What?
Oh, you know. They're
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 not
closer.
Canadian.
They're closer to Canada.
We're closer to Canada than we were in Tennessee. People don't talk like that here.
I'm not talking to you no more. I'm telling a story. You just listen. Nothing specific, just a vibe, a shift, the kind of change you only notice when you've known someone your whole life. Then came the stories about the farm. People said they'd drive past the Gein place at night and see a light flicker on in a room that had been dark for years. Or they'd hear strange noises, not screams or anything dramatic, just sounds, movement, activity, like someone talking to themselves or pacing around. Again, nothing anyone could prove, just the kind of thing that sticks in your mind when you're driving down a lonely road with only your headlights and your imagination for company. For one, why are you doing this?
I
Don't
have
drive down lonely roads.
I have a question though.
Two, don't go by the Ed Gein farm. You will become a soup.
I have a question though.
What?
They said they heard voices that they've not heard before and weird sounds coming from farm. This is a farm. It should be pretty big. How close are you getting to this house to hear these sounds?
Right, I think they're robbers. I think they were going to rob it, and now they didn't because it was kind of creepy.
I just
I
like
think they're too close if they're hearing things like that.
well, I mean, you're like driving a vehicle. We have a road right in front of our house, and if you drove by it, you're not going to be able to hear voices from the inside. Like it
I don't
just
know. You're
doesn't.
really loud.
I'm okay. I'm extremely loud. You're still not going to hear me from out there. Like it's just I don't know how you would hear him from a car. Like these people would have had to got out of their car, walked up to his house, and been like, "Hmm, he's talking to himself in there." Something's going on.
Something seems off, Webster.
Yeah, I just have questions on that. Like,
Well, put that one aside, because you're going to have more questions by the end of this. Then there were the disappearances. This is where the whispers got a little bit more. Plainfield is small. When someone went missing, people are gonna notice. And when more than one person went missing over the years, folks started connecting the dots. But I'm a little worried why it took you years to connect the dots. And that way small towns do when they don't want to accuse anyone outright. But here's the thing, no one suspected Ed. Not at all. He was odd. We've discussed that. But he was helpful, polite, soft-spoken. The kind of man who'd fix your fence or shovel your driveway without being asked. People pitied him. They didn't fear him. So even when the rumors started swirling, even when people said something ain't right out there on that farm, it was never with certainty. It was a shrug, a nervous laugh. Oh, well, who knows what he's doing? But they didn't. The meaning behind it is like they didn't fear him.
no, everybody probably felt bad for him. Like,
Yeah, they felt bad
sorry
for him.
for
And
everything that's happened to him.
you know, when someone's a little off kilter, a little weird, and it kind of makes you feel like uncomfortable, kind of like, oh, you don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
That is the way I feel like they felt about him. Not like, oh my gosh, we should be scared. So the whispers were the first cracks. The first signs that Plainfield was sitting on top of a story far darker than anyone realized. And soon enough, those rumors weren't going to be rumors anymore. They were about to become headlines. Big headlines. Now, y'all, every story like this has a turning point. A moment when the whisper stopped being background noise and suddenly become the only thing anybody can hear. And for Plainfield, that moment came on an ordinary day. The kind of day where folks were running errands, grabbing coffee, minding their business. That's a lot because ain't nobody in a small town minds their business. And mind everybody else's business.
Well, it's because there's nothing else to do. Especially back in them days. What are you going to do? There ain't no social media. Can't go on Facebook and gossip about people.
Dude, we lived in a small town even before we moved, and there was social media and there was everything else. And I heard more about myself than I ever knew.
Yeah, that's just what people do.
Yeah.
People like to gossip. You like to gossip.
Yeah.
I don't like to gossip.
Guys, since I moved to Indiana, I don't have anybody to gossip with, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, if there's any viewers out there from Indiana, she's looking for friends that like to
Think
gossip.
it's no fun.
I'm not. I'm boring. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a nerd, and I'm boring.
He talks nerdy to me, and I don't understand what he says.
No, she has no idea.
So, our first person here, her name was Bernice Warden. She ran the local hardware store, the kind of place where everybody in town stops sooner or later. Friendly, dependable, always there behind the counter. The kind of person whose absence you notice immediately because she was woven like into the rhythm of life in Plainfield. So when the store stayed closed longer than usual, people got curious. When the lights were off in the middle of the day, people got uneasy. Like when you go to a store and you're like, Joe was supposed to open that store today. Where's he at? Something ain't
Yeah,
right.
when you live in a small town, you know who works that
Yeah.
store, usually on what day, because they normally work the same hours
Yeah.
or same days, same hours. You know, especially if you've lived there for a year or 2, you're gonna know who does what.
Oh, yeah. So you know, and you're like, hey, somebody
Yeah,
needs to call up Joe and tell him, see if he's okay. Because
yeah,
he ain't missed a day in 10 years.
especially if you go there and they're just not there, they didn't, like, call and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be out today," or something like that. And a lot of times, you know people just aren't gonna not show up.
Right. And that's what it was with Bernice. Like, she was there every day. Like, it's closed
So it's
in the middle of
extremely
the
fishy
day.
when she didn't
Yes,
show
it
up.
was an extreme noticeable disappearance.
Yeah, that's usually not the person you wanna take out first.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so that's what I'm saying. He wasn't smart about it. It's not, I don't think he planned, like, in advance. You know what I mean? I don't think it was like the things he did was premeditated.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was about to say.
Um, when someone finally peeked inside and realized the place was completely empty. No Bernice, no note, no explanation. The These people were curious. And also living from a small town, you know that gets from one end of town to the other in 5 minutes. Somehow.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take long for gossip to spread in a small town. Well, you ain't got very
Yeah.
far. You gotta spread it for one. There's not many people. But normally you call one person, then when you're done telling them, you both call another person, tell another person, then it just keeps multiplying
Yeah.
from that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last name in the store's ledger, guess who it was?
He put his name in the book.
He bought stuff.
Oh, dear. Come on, dude.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this was not premeditated. This was
No,
not, you know?
it was an impulse thing.
Yeah. So, just a simple entry, a purchase, nothing dramatic. But in a town as small as Plainfield, that was enough to make folks pause. Because suddenly, all those little rumors, all the little, hey, how you doing? Awkwardness, the strange noises, the odd behavior, the flickering lights out on the Gein farm didn't feel like harmless gossip anymore. They felt like puzzle pieces that had been scattered around for years. And now, for the first time, they were starting to fit together. Of course, the sheriff's department didn't waste time. They headed out to Ed's farm. The sagging, isolated house everyone avoided, expecting maybe a misunderstanding, maybe a medical emergency, maybe anything but what they were about to find. So, like I said, even now, they don't think that Ed did anything bad.
Mhm.
They're not scared of this man. Like, he's not.
They think he's just a good old boy.
Yeah,
Just a quiet guy that's had a rough life, that's living on a farm by himself. Yeah, it's a little
right,
weird that he just lives out there by himself, and, people have reported strange sounds, but they don't think there's, like, a darkness there.
right. They
They
don't
just don't
see that
see
in
it. Yeah,
him.
they just don't see that. Which, in all honesty, some of your best, like, serial killers and stuff out there, that's how people saw them too. They didn't see that, the
How would you know?
darkness, because they're serial killers, like, they've killed multiple people. If people would have saw that, they probably wouldn't have killed so many people.
There are serial killers that people saw that, but there was no proof.
Well, like you said, I wouldn't know. I don't follow much this, but I know there's, like, a lot, like, I know about Ted Bundy, and, women flaunted to him. Didn't see that there was
They
anything
did
wrong with
after he
him.
was arrested, because
They did.
make better choices.
I know, but, like, people didn't see it in him, but it was there. Like, there's a lot of serial killers out there that don't they
Mhm.
just don't show that. And, like, a lot of the stories that we've went over, you don't think the person that did it would be that type of person.
Y'all, ooh lordy, ooh lordy. When they stepped onto that property, the entire town changed their mind. Um, Here's where things just gonna get a little freaky, okay? Things are gonna get freaky from here. Plainfield wasn't dealing with a lonely, eccentric man on a rundown farm. They were dealing with something far darker, something that had been hiding in plain sight for years. Um, and from that moment on, the quiet little town of Plainfield, them folks ain't never gonna be the same. Nope. Talk about trauma. Okay. When the investigators stepped into Ed Gein's farmhouse, they weren't just walking into a messy home. They were going on stepping into like a physical map of his mind. And that mind ain't been right for years. The house wasn't messy, it was chaotic. It was chaotic. The living areas looked like time had simply stopped caring. Piles of newspapers, old food containers, random objects stacked in corners. It was the kind of clutter that comes from years of isolation, where no one visits, no one checks in, and no one says, "Hey, Eddie boy, you need to clean this place up." Nobody said that. Not Tad. Thank God they didn't. The smell alone told investigators um, something right. Something ain't right in this house. Then came the rooms he preserved. So this is where the contrast hit like a punch, okay? Ed had boarded up several rooms, including his mother Augusta's bedroom, and left them exactly as they were the day she died. Dust settled on the furniture like a protective layer. Curtains stayed drawn, nothing moved, nothing changed. Investigators said this felt like a time capsule, like time just froze.
Mm-hmm.
Still untouched, sacred. It almost felt sacred, um, which made the rest of the house seem even more chaotic. It was painfully clear Ed wasn't just holding on to memories, he was physically trying to hold on to her. Physically.
Mm-hmm.
Physically. The as investigators searched deeper, they started finding things. They found things.
What did they find?
Things that don't belong in a home.
What do you mean things that don't belong in a home?
Items that made it clear that Ed had been visiting local cemeteries at night.
Say what?
Um, he went grave robbing in the night.
Is he Dr.
But
Frankenstein?
here's the important part. Ed wasn't doing this out of violence toward the living. He wasn't hunting people. He was digging up graves, specifically graves of women that reminded him of his mama. Um,
He was digging up old dead women?
yeah, yeah. They found some things. in this house. Um, you wanna know what they were?
I don't know if I want to know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you anyways. So he created several gruesome items from body parts, including some furniture. So, some chairs were upholstered with human skin.
He made furniture out of people?
Lampshades, lampshades made from human faces.
What?
Yeah, they was faces on his lampshade. Um,
Did they not have an IKEA back then?
no,
That's
and a wastebasket made out of skin.
ew.
So, and there's more. There was a mask. There was masks fashioned from the skin of his victims, including a face mask, um, made from another woman that went missing. Um, he made it from her corpse.
Ew.
Yeah. Um, he made some accessories too. Like he accessorized.
That's not a good thing.
He made a belt out of nipples.
What? I don't even
He
know where to
he
go with that.
he made a belt out of the nipple, the areola, the nipple of the areola.
Just keep going. I don't even know what to say to that.
He made some leggings, which you know me, I am all about a good legging.
Let
But
me guess,
these
he
aren't
made
real.
leggings out of legs?
He made them out of human skin.
Probably from the legs.
These are not my type of leggings, but he made a corset.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the things that women put on, and
That
then they
make them look
tie it in
skinny
the
or
back.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like to pull everything tight. Yeah.
yeah. It's the first version of catfishing, because when you
Uh,
unloose that beast, but he made that out of a female torso.
I'm so confused on why would he do? Uh,
He
I
made
don't.
a box. He made a box out of noses.
Why?
I don't know. He had a collection of bowls,
W- Uh, made out of what?
skulls.
This guy's like
Look, he had a collection.
this is like he's like the tractor from Paw Patrol. Don't lose it, reuse it, or whatever the heck the dog says. It's not how this should go.
Um, my personal favorite is the belt, but that's just me. Uh,
Ain't none of this my favorite. That's sick. Something's
he,
wrong.
I told you. You said he was a tailor. He kinda is.
No, no, not at all.
So when investigators made their way from Ed Gein's house out to the barn, they were a little rattled.
I don't want to know what was in the barn.
Um, the farmhouse alone had told them they were dealing with someone whose mind had slipped far from reality,
Yeah,
but nothing. Um, Nothing. Not the rumors, not the clutter, not the preserved rooms prepared them for what they're about to find in that outbuilding. Um,
you're telling me the outbuilding, the barn, whatever, is worse than a belt of nipples and a skull bow and a nose box, human leggings in the house?
well, the barn felt wrong the minute they stepped inside. It was cold, dim, dusty. Tools hanging from the rafters, old farm equipment pushed into corners. At first glance, it looked like any other rural barn, the kind of place where a farmer might store hay, you know, or fix a tractor. But the deeper they walked, wasn't good. This is where they found Bernice Warden. Bernice had been reported missing earlier that day, of course. Um, the barn confirmed their worst fears. They found Bernice inside, and it was immediately clear she had been killed. Uh, Investigators could tell she had been shot, and the scene showed unmistakable signs that Ed had taken the steps to prepare her body.
Prepare it for what?
Prepare it for sewing.
Once again, what the? I, I don't have
Um,
words.
they didn't need to see much more to understand that this was no accident, no misunderstanding, and no moment of panic. This was pretty deliberate.
Yeah, it looks like he needed a new shirt or something. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just don't understand why.
He was making a mama suit.
Maybe so. I
No,
don't
he
know.
was. He was making his mama suit so he could be mama.
So he needed female skin?
That looked like his mama. So up until this point, Ed's behavior had been confined to like grave robbing, which is a horrifying crime, yes, but it didn't involve harming the living. The items in his house had shown that a man lost in grief and delusion, uh, trying to recreate the presence of his mother, in ways that defied comprehension. But the barn told a different story. It showed investigators that Ed had crossed the line, that he had escalated. He had taken a life. When investigators finally sat Ed Gein down for questioning, they weren't met with the kind of man people imagined after seeing the barn. There was no snarling, no denial, no attempt to run or fight. What they got instead was a man who seemed almost relieved, like he'd been carrying a weight for years, and someone finally asked him to set it down. Ed didn't argue. He didn't bargain. He didn't even hesitate. He just talked. Um, the investigators quickly realized they weren't dealing with someone who grasped the seriousness of what he had done. Ed described everything in the same tone someone might use to explain how to milk a cow or fix a fence. Flat, matter of fact, detached. It wasn't coldness. It was just disconnection. He admitted to grave robbing first. He told them that after his mother died, he started visiting cemeteries at night. He said that he felt drawn to certain graves, specifically those of women who, resembled Augusta. He described slipping into a kind of trance, and when he came out of it, he had already disturbed the grave. To him, it wasn't about violence, it was about loneliness, about trying to feel closer to the only person he had ever truly bonded with. He said that he wanted to become his mother.
Don't even know what to say that. I
Um,
mean, the fact that he's talking to the cops and just telling them all this, or telling, the detectives everything, no line, just straight out telling. To me, it seems like he knew something was wrong, and he wanted to tell someone that something was
mhm.
wrong, but he wanted them to ask him about it. He wanted someone to seem
He
like they
probably
cared,
didn't know how to
to even start a
go about it.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was wanting someone. He was so used to his mom doing everything for him, probably, or, like,
yeah,
starting everything for him, to where he wanted someone to come and just be like, Ed, why don't you tell me everything about how you're feeling right now?" And I'm sure there was
yeah,
a lot of people that asked him how he was doing, because his mom passed away, so, but there was no one that, like, went in depth. Like,
yeah,
therapy, like I said, therapy may have actually helped him. Do I think it would have kept him from going to this path? I can't really say that,
yeah. I don't
because,
know.
like, I don't therapy can help you, but I don't know if it could have helped to that level.
Yeah,
But he also needed to socialize, someone to
yeah.
be there with him,
No,
because
I
he
agree on
spent
that.
his
Yeah,
entire day doing nothing but thinking about his mom that he
yeah.
lost. And if there was, like, another woman in his life that he could idolize or just be close to, probably would have been better off for him.
I don't know if I look like his mama, but I'm just calling naughty it right now.
He's probably dead by now, honey.
I I just want to make sure the ghost world hears it too. I called naughty it. I called it first.
Or far from, Wisconsin. I'd say his ghost is somewhere in that direction.
Maybe he got adventurous after his life. I don't know.
That's not how ghosts work, I don't think.
Okay, well I'm still calling naughty it.
Yeah.
So he explained that he had been trying to create a full bodysuit. Not a costume, not an identity expression, but a delusional attempt to step into his mother's presence. He believed that if he could wear it, he could feel like she was still with him. Like he could bring her back in some kind of twisted, symbolic way.
Yeah, I'm not seeing how that makes sense, but he was not in the right
Hmm.
mental spot in life. I just,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't,
he needed a hug,
I ain't hugging him.
an air hug.
Well, I could probably hug him. I'm not a woman. I'd be fine. And I'm pretty sure I don't look like his mom at all.
He needed a big hug.
Yeah, I think he needed more than a hug.
So, it wasn't about gender, it wasn't about transformation. This was just about grief. Like, it swallowed this man.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, Ed said he went to the hardware store to buy antifreeze, something backed up by the receipt. Investigators found, according to him, the gun went off accidentally. Investigators don't believe it. They don't believe that explanation. But Ed stuck to it with that same flat, emotionless tone he used for everything else. He said it wasn't planned. He didn't mean to. It just was an accident. Uh, there, what stood out most to the investigators was that there was no attempt to hide anything, no elaborate lies. So and I could be totally wrong, but that's what gets me about Bernice's death. He says it was an accident.
Mhm.
Um, and he's not lied about anything else. Like he's
But he
telling it.
gets to the one thing and they think he's lying about it.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, was he? Or was it truly just an accident?
Thing is, though, if it was an accident, why would he take her back to the farm and start preparing her for the
I mean,
process that he does?
at that point, she was already gone, man.
Yeah, but it's different. Like it's like when you watch Criminal Minds and they're talking about, the person changing the way they're doing things as they go on about it. It was
Like
like,
they escalate.
yes, it's like he started out with the grave robbing and getting body parts and doing stuff like that, and he finally got up the courage to, now it's time to do it on a living body. It's like,
Yeah.
he's moving up the
I
ladder.
still don't I still don't know if I believe it though, if it was like on purpose.
You know how hard okay, gun went off accidentally. Why was he pointing the gun at her?
True. True.
Like,
I'm not saying that's wrong.
and
I may need to look into that deeper to see like the story around that part of it. But cuz I just don't see why he would lie about that and not lie about anything else. Literally anything else.
well, it also depends on, like, what type of gun are we talking? Like, was she shot with a pistol?
Yeah.
Because, like, if it's a pistol, he probably had it on him, but still, why were you pointing it at her? Now, if it says she was shot with, like, a rifle or a shotgun or something, no, you're not walking into the general store holding a rifle or a shotgun in your hand.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, no,
It's
you
been a
wouldn't.
while back, maybe.
No, it's not been that long back, and if you walk into a store holding a gun, they're gonna pull a gun on you because 'cause they'll be like, "What you doing there, buddy?"
Okay. So the mother suit was the centerpiece of his delusion. When investigators asked about the strange items in his home, Ed explained that the suit was the culmination of his grief, his isolation, and his obsession with Augusta. It was the physical expression of a mind that had been unraveling. The suit wasn't just an object, it was a symbol, a sign of how completely Ed had lost his grip on reality. And once investigators understood that, they knew that they weren't dealing with a criminal mastermind or a calculating killer. They were dealing with a man who just collapsed under the weight of his own loneliness. They they were just looking at a man that seemed relieved to be caught. He didn't fight, he didn't deny, he didn't even seem scared. He didn't seem frightened. He just answered the questions with the same flat, detached calm, like he was describing chores on the farm. Instead of actions that had shaken Plainfield to its core. The murders Ed was linked to, despite the chaos inside his home, investigators were able to connect Ed to only two confirmed killings. Bernice Warden in 1957 and Mary Hogan in 1954. And that was the one I told you that had went missing earlier. That,
Mhm.
yeah, the
So
face, the face.
so see, that makes me think that he did mean to shoot the lady because he had already killed once, and he just killed another one, and like we said earlier, I think he killed his brother, um, and who knows how many other women he probably
Yeah,
killed because, like, they couldn't connect him. I mean, you're talking about in the 50s. It's not like they had state of the art forensics and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I would say he was guilty of killing a lot more.
Because you would think that like these were small towns.
But also, you got that you said he killed in 1954 and 57.
57,
It's kind
yes.
of odd 3 years, going 3 years without killing somebody. It's just some odd amount.
But he's an odd person.
Yeah, but that's just real. It's like a way out there.
So, of course, the court ordered a full psychiatric evaluation, and the doctors found that he had severe, lifelong isolation, deep emotional trauma centered on his mother, long developing break from reality, delusional thinking tied to identity, death, and grief. Psychiatrist diagnosed him with schizophrenia. And in their view, Ed wasn't capable of understanding the nature of his actions or participating in any meaningful way in his defense, his own defense. In simple terms, Ed was mentally unfit to stand trial.
And see, I kind of agree with what they say
Yeah.
because I think that's why he answered the questions to the cops. I think he thought that he did nothing wrong and that
Yeah.
everything he was doing was just okay. So, and like his mom taught him, you don't lie. And he thought he was just being honest and truthful and that everything he
Mhm.
did was just
That's true.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think in his mind he thought he was wrong. That's why he
Yeah.
was answering everything easy with confidence with no issues
Mhm.
whatsoever. Now, the gun thing,
I don't
like
know, I'm still iffy about it.
like I said, well, like you said, you were going to look into it a little bit more. I'd
Mhm.
like to know too, because if you tell me he shot her with like a rifle or a shotgun, then he, I don't, I don't believe the accident thing. Now, if it was
Yeah.
a pistol, it's still hard to believe because like, why was it pointed towards them? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, I think in his mind he didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I think in his mind he doesn't think he did anything wrong except for maybe murdering the one lady, and that's why he lied. That might be the only thing he thought was wrong because he knew murder was
I
wrong.
don't know. I just don't know.
I don't know either.
So the judge ruled Ed legally insane. Instead of prison, he was committed to the Central State Hospital for the criminally insane in Wisconsin. He stayed there for more than a decade. Eventually, after years of treatment, doctors believed he was stable enough to face trial. But even then, the trial was extremely narrow in a scope. He was only tried for the murder of Bernice Warden. Not because Mary Hogan was forgotten, but because the evidence in Bernice's case was the strongest. And one conviction was enough to ensure he would never be released.
Yeah, they knew it was a
Um,
slam dunk. They didn't want to take the
yeah,
chance that the other case could get both of them thrown out. So they just went with the one that they knew 100% without a doubt he was going to
yeah.
go down for. And like you said, for if you know he's going to be in there for life, it's fine.
No, yeah, they knew. And he'd already been in the psychiatric hospital for a decade.
Yeah,
You know, like, so it was a bench trial, meaning that there was no jury, just a judge reviewing the evidence.
mm,
And the verdict, of course, was guilty of murder, but legally insane at the time he committed. Um, Ed was held responsible, but not in the criminal sense. He was sent back to a secure psychiatric institution where he lived quietly for the rest of his life. By all accounts, Ed became a calm, compliant patient. He spent his days reading, doing simple tasks, and keeping mostly to himself. The same quiet, withdrawn existence he had lived on the farm, just in a safer environment. He died in 1984 at the age of 77. Once Ed was locked up and the truth about the farmhouse hit the newspapers, Plainfield found itself in a situation it never asked for. Overnight, the quiet little town became a magnet for the curious, the morbid, and, well, let's just be honest, the downright nosy.
well,
Um,
I mean, every news company in the world, because you don't hear of a guy turning people
Making
into
nipple
suit.
belts.
Yeah, making nipple belts and nose boxes and trash cans out of people's skin, lamps out of people's faces, and wearing some of their skin. Like, that's not
That was his mama suit.
no, this sounds like something out of a horror movie, like, straight up, like, horror movie. This sounds like some Stephen King horror movie stuff going on,
Yeah,
except for there's no clown coming out of the sewers.
that one creeps me out. I can't do that one. Okay. The people, the farmhouse
Y'all
became
float
a
down here.
okay, weirdo. The farmhouse becomes a spectacle. Like, people drove out just to stare at the place. Like, I'm not about that life, but you do you. Reporters snapped photos like they were documenting a movie set. Strangers tried sneaking onto the property, hoping to get a glimpse of the house where it all happened. Um, for a community that valued privacy, decency, and minding your own business, which we know is a lie because ain't no community valued minding your own business.
There's gossip everywhere. It don't matter what community you live in.
This was a nightmare.
Well, yeah, you're talking about small town people that, you live in a small town for a reason. Either you have to or because you just like the small town living type of life.
Hmm.
And these people are not, at this point, they're not living the small town life. You have news crews and, like you said, people that just want to see, the horror house that this is. It's
Yeah.
it's it's literally like a house of horrors in there.
Yeah, I can imagine people probably tried to break into it to.
Oh, I can imagine that there was, like, people with lots of money that like
Yeah.
this type of stuff, like, "I will pay you X amount of money for the nipple belt," or something. Like,
Yeah, so
something.
the county, trying to handle legal mess, planned to auction off Ed's property and belongings. And of course, once word got out, people started whispering about turning the farmhouse into some kind of twisted museum. Not gonna lie, I wish that was true because I would like to go see it. Um,
I'm
locals,
good.
locals were horrified. The idea that tourists might come from all over the country to walk through the site of such a tragedy felt like a deep insult to the victims, to their families, and to the town itself. The idea that tourists might come. Understand. Okay, so I understand what they're saying. You don't want that.
It would ruin their small town, like, the small town atmosphere. Like,
Really? What are they what are you auctioning off? Like, are
well,
you auctioning off the lamp? Are
no,
you
that stuff's probably all went into evidence, and then after evidence, it probably got returned to the grave that it belonged to, if they could tell what grave it belonged to. Um,
It's a lamp.
but they've
Where are you gonna put it? Like, were they gonna auction off the belt? Because
no,
this fella he didn't have much.
a
Like,
lot of that
what
stuff
you oxygen?
a lot of that stuff probably
Oxygen.
got yeah, a lot of that stuff probably got put, you know, in evidence, and it'll never see the light of day again. But what they're gonna auction off is just, like, mostly the property and, like, his farm equipment that wasn't used in, killing people. But, you gotta you gotta think these small town people, they probably just wanna forget about this. They lost friends, they lived with this guy for
Yeah,
years thinking that he's okay, and then this is not a little thing that happened. This is a
but
big thing that happened. They probably just wanna forget about it.
technically he only had 2 victims.
Technically,
Technically.
but if you look back and this town has done this, say they lost 10 people in this time that disappeared. That's just a number. I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm not saying it's true, but say 10 people disappeared in that time frame. They're going to blame him for every one of them.
No,
They're going to
he
think he did
only ever got blamed for 2.
because that's
He
all they can.
doesn't he doesn't have the body count that you think he would for being such a high profile killer.
It's not because of the number of people he killed. It's what he done with the people that he killed.
He
Like,
was a seamstress.
is not a seamstress at all, but
He was a designer.
It's the story that went along with the people that he killed. Like, normally when this happens, serial killers kill people, they hide the bodies. They don't wear them.
He made a lamp and a belt.
I
He made
know,
some bowls.
but like that doesn't happen. That's why this story has become what it has become, because it's
He
not
made some
normal.
chairs for people to sit in.
It's weird. It's not normal.
You think?
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's not. I'm saying it's not your normal serial killer thing. Like normally they kill, go on to the next one. Or,
Yeah.
technically I wouldn't call him a serial killer because he only killed two people technically, and a lot of serial killers kill like random people in a small town like
Mm-hmm.
that. There's really no one that's random. Like these people. Now he probably didn't plan on killing, especially the second victim, the way he did, but I wouldn't consider him a serial killer.
Yeah. So the auction, it never happened. On March 20th, 1958, just months after Ed's arrest, the farmhouse went up in flames. Late at night, the fire started and spread fast. By the time the firefighters arrived, the place was fully engulfed. They couldn't save it. And honestly, I wouldn't think they would try very hard to.
No.
Um, I would suspect that the townspeople probably had a bonfire party around it.
So you're telling me that the fire department showed up, they started spraying got the hose, started spraying water on it, and they're like, "Oh my god, who put kerosene in the tank?"
Yeah. So the official cause was listed as unknown.
I mean,
But
I don't blame them. Like, I mean, they didn't do the right thing, but like they did not want their town to be turned. It would be turned into a circus. That's what would happen.
yeah, it was turning into a circus.
It'd be even worse. It'd be a circus all year long. And
Yeah.
no town wants that. No town,
Yeah.
especially over
And
something this
I
dark.
don't know. There are towns that lean into that. They're
No,
like,
not
you
not
can't beat them, join them.
no, not like this. Like this is an event that doesn't happen like ever. Like this type. And a lot of
Yeah.
towns are not going to want to lean that, especially if you're a small town
Yeah. Yeah.
and
No, I get it.
because most small towns, like most of your population is usually older. These people don't want to go through this. They just want to forget that it happened. Like you want to live the rest of your life and hopefully never speak of it again. And they
Yeah.
know if that house sells and becomes a museum, their lives are going to be horrible. They would
Yeah.
probably have to move because it would be constant reminder of it.
True. So everyone understood without saying it out loud that someone had decided the town didn't need a monument to Ed Gein. Burning it down was a way to reclaim a little dignity. No one was ever charged. No one ever confessed. And let's just be honest, they didn't care. They
They
weren't
didn't
eager to
investigate
find out
this
who
very,
to do it. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't
Who
investigate
did
it
it?
very
They
hard.
didn't. So once the ashes cooled, the remains of the house were bulldozed and cleared away. Today, the land is just an empty field. No marker, no plaque, no sign that anything ever stood there. And that's exactly how Plainfield wanted it. Erase the reminder, close the chapter, and move on. This is where that ghost is coming into play. He's angry. He's angry. They done took his mama's house. Not it.
They burnt
Those
down the
ghosts, not it.
preserve. Yeah, they destroyed her preserved room.
See why I have to clear myself right from the get-go? No. I don't know if I look like his mama. I need to protect myself. He mad.
Oh Lord, nah, he never got mad. Like everybody said, he was just
They
quiet.
took his mama's house. They burned it down.
Well, I mean, whoever did it is probably gone too, because that was in '58. I mean, it's Even a child would be, what, their 70s by now? Oh,
I I'm just
almost
I'm
70?
just making sure. I don't wanna leave any stone unturned.
Oh, lord.
So, there's one strange footnote, though. Ed's old Ford sedan, the car he used during his trips to the graveyards, um, it did get sold at auction. A carnival operator bought it and toured it around the Midwest as like a sideshow attraction. People paid to see it like it was some kind of curiosity.
Oh, I'm
You do you,
good.
boo, but
I'm good.
okay, look, I'm a little weird. I'm not saying that I would go out of my way to see it, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't
See
go out
see,
of my way to see it.
I wouldn't because like the townspeople saying, they burnt the house or, you were saying they burnt the house down so it wouldn't be like a monument of him. Well, you're driving this car around making it look like a monument of him.
But it's kind of interesting.
No, I don't I don't I mean, the dude literally killed people and tried to wear the body. It's creepy.
He just wanted his mama, okay?
I don't
And I
I don't
can't
care.
say that I wouldn't go check it out. Sorry.
I'm good. I think I could do without seeing that car. I think I could totally do without seeing it at all.
Okay, so Norman Bates' Psycho is circa 1960. Um, this would be Norman Bates' spiritual twin. And of course, this was inspired, or it would be Ed Gein's spiritual twin, sorry. Norman Bates would be his twin. Um, it was inspired by Ed Gein. What Hollywood borrowed was the mother obsession and, of course, the preserving the mother after death. Um, the quiet, awkward loner vibe. And quick fact here, Robert Bloch, who wrote the novel Psycho, lived only about 35 miles from Plainfield. So he knew the story,
Got a
he
little
did.
bit of inspiration from it.
Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. This is the most visual connection to Ed Gein, even though the movie itself is way more extreme than anything Ed ever did, but it was inspired by Ed Gein. They, of course, borrowed the skin mask concept, um, the chaotic bone-filled house, and a warped family dynamic. They got all of that from the Ed Gein story. Uh, Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs was inspired by Ed Gein. They borrowed the mama suit idea, the suit idea. They got that from Ed Gein. The grave robbing influence, the identity confusion and psychological collapse. But he wasn't confused about his identity. He 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 was confused about that it's wrong to wear a mama suit. Don't do that. It's kind of creepy.
He just wanted to be his mama.
Yeah,
By being her, he would be close to her.
yeah, exactly. Uh, you know, Hollywood grabbed pieces of Ed's psychology, the mother fixation, the isolation, the delusions, the blurred lines between grief and madness, and spun them into characters that still haunt pop culture today. Norman Bates, Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, three of the most iconic villains in film history, all rooted in the same lonely farmhouse in Plainfield, Wisconsin. And that's the strange, unsettling truth of it all. Ed Gein wasn't a mastermind. He wasn't a criminal genius. He wasn't even fully aware of the world he was living in. He was deeply isolated, deeply traumatized man whose mind fractured in ways no one saw coming, and whose actions left a mark far bigger than the life he actually lived.
This case was more disturbing than I thought it was going to be.
Did I blow your mind?
Oh, I mean, I knew there was a serial killer that made people into furniture, but it was a lot more in depth than I thought it was. I didn't know it was him. I keep up with names. So it ended up being a lot more twisted than I thought it was going to be. I thought he
Felt
was
like
going to
this.
go ahead.
I felt like this was the perfect case to discuss tonight since you were not on the top of my favorites list.
Well, let's be honest. You can't sew. So I got nothing to worry about. And you don't know how to make a chair, so I can't be a chair. I wouldn't be a good
He
chair.
he reupholstered the chair.
With skin, and my skin is trash, so why would you want it? I got so much dry skin. Look at the skin, disgusted. But it was
I
it,
could lotion it up.
it ain't gonna work.
It puts the lotion on the skin or it gets
Well,
the
get the
hose
hose
again.
again. Nope. Uh, but I, this was very twisted, and I can see where it's a case that you think he would have killed a whole lot more people for as popular. Because I mean, I know there's a Netflix show or a movie, something. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, like, you would have thought it would be more Ted Bundy level, like,
Yeah,
more
because like
yeah,
I know
like
this I know
BTK or
some of
Zodiac
this.
Killer, something like that, but
Yeah, I know some of the story of like Ted Bundy. Like I know he has a Netflix. I think he has a Netflix thing, or he has Amazon. Something. He has a show, movie, all the above on something. So I expected him to have like a high body count, like a high number of people he's killed, and it just being two doesn't seem like it should be that popular. But I think it's the way he did things, like the taxidermy stuff. Oh, well, not taxidermy, but he made
he didn't
people.
taxidermy anybody.
No, he was a carpenter. He turned people into, everyday
He was a
chairs. And
seamstress.
well, no, a seamstress just makes like the clothes, but he made chairs
But
and
you
he
know
made
what? Yeah, I
bowls.
think
And
he's a designer because he
uh,
designed these
no, that
things.
is not how you design. You don't use people's body parts and skin. But I
We
think
wouldn't, but
no, but I think that's why he became so popular is because of what he did. No one had seen that before. Like it was like, what is this? Like
mhm,
this is insane. People don't do this.
nobody has ever made a mama suit.
No. And like you said, like Hollywood took a lot from this. Hollywood takes ideas of things, that happen in the real world because they're interesting. And this was something that was unseen. Like no one has
Yeah,
seen this. Uh
definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely one of them stories that's like, whoa,
It's like it's to me it's one of those stories like you think you know but you don't know
no, no, not at all.
until you hear it.
No. And, one thing I would like to figure out the answer to is like, did he actually mean to shoot the lady or not? But speaking of that, anyone that's, made it to this point of the episode, if you want to comment down below, do you think he shot her on accident or do you think he shot her on purpose? I personally think he did it on purpose.
I'm going with accident.
Okay. And while you're down there, answer that. And his brother, do you think he was the reason his brother died?
Oh,
Or do you think it was an actual accident?
I think Mama Gusta there said,
Okay,
"Eddie boy."
there's another option. Like, I'd like to know what everybody thinks about this because hearing other people's opinions, it's good because, like, I want to know what other people are thinking of this. And, while you're down there, if you don't mind giving us a like and a subscribe and you mind sharing, the video, we are trying to build the channel out and the YouTube
Comment.
Yeah,
I just want
comments.
to, like, anything you want to comment, honestly. I need to talk to people.
Yeah. But
Talk to me, people.
we also need everybody that's, possible to do that stuff to, help us with the YouTube algorithm because, if you're not liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting on the video, it doesn't like to show your video off to a lot of people. So if y'all could do that for us, we would really appreciate it. But once again, not what I was expecting because I didn't expect it to go in this direction, very twisted. But I think it was a good, well, I mean, has to be a good event to talk about because Hollywood stole it for all these movies that we've talked about and all these
Yep,
TV shows and stuff. So definitely something good to talk about, but not what I was expected and very twisted.
it was. Well, that is it from us tonight, everyone, and we hope you have a very good night. Don't forget to comment because I need conversation, and we'll see you next time. Bye.